This is Professor MoneyPigTrading, a former PhD drug discovery researcher and a data scientist in fintech for 5 years and now a trader. And today we're going to talk about biweekly SPAC radar. We're going to cover CCIV and all these other names that we collected on Discord and find those SPACs are the most discussed names on Discord. And today is February 14, 2021. I wish everyone a happy Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day. So the next slide, just some really quick disclaimer that MoneyPigTrading is not a registered financial advisor nor a registered CPA. This presentation is only for education purposes. Please invest at your own risks. Blah blah blah. So just highlight like this week's another unreal week for our community. Day trading, we're hitting like Helium, Airbnb, and SPX, where we have a screenshot of one of my trading account profit on SPX 250% hit. On the market dropped, and also swing trading, we're hitting on Nvidia really big time on 300%, and SPY, MJ, we have been entered since December last year and collect a lot of handsome profits. Not to mention we're hitting on IWM and pharmaceutical play TGTX, Wells Fargo, WFC, and Tilray. We actually had a 51% return, and here's just a screenshot of a Helium day trading play, which we only entered small size because we actually got beaten by Helium multiple times, so I didn't trust that company that well. But eventually their revolutionary battery news just came out and boosted up the price and make us still a decent profit, like $500. The other thing I want to shout it out this week, make us really happy, is that Jimcramer, who's very famous, also retweeted our TGTX contents. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter, make sure to follow us on MoneyPigTrading. And I really like Jimcramer's content as well. Feel free to follow Jimcramer on Twitter. Just to highlight, if you want to check out our Discord community, MoneyPigTrading.com. Also Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all MoneyPigTrading. Feel free to like our video and subscribe us on YouTube. So today we're going to talk about Special Purpose Acquisition Company, or we call SPAC. So what is SPAC, just in case you're not aware of or you're not familiar with SPAC? It's basically a blank check company to raise capital through initial public offering, IPO. And what it is pretty much like a shell company, like an empty shell company. The goal is to IPO, raise money, and then their final goal is to acquire an existing company. Usually it's a public company, and they usually have 2 years to acquire a company, or they have to return all the money to the investors that they raised through IPO. And usually at the beginning of the IPO of a SPAC name, investors usually don't know like which company the SPAC name really are going to acquire. They usually have a list of names that they are targeting at, but they wouldn't disclose them due to the legal complication. So to acquire the company, SPAC usually is a faster route than IPO. So for the companies that's going to be acquired by a SPAC, the benefit of being acquired by a SPAC is usually a faster route than IPO, because IPO you have file S1, you have to do all the legal process, blah blah blah. Usually take at least a good 6 months. And not to mention there are a lot more like expensive underwriting fees. Even though SPAC also require underwriting fees, but a lot of those fees are kind of absorbed on the SPAC level, SPAC IPO level. So it's relatively I would say cost effective or faster. Of course, it's case by case, but generally speaking, faster than the general IPO routes for a company who wants to be public compared to just directly being acquired to SPAC. And for SPAC, usually it comes with $10 per share at their SPAC IPO price. And then they will issue a certain amount of shares so that they can raise a certain amount of money to acquire a target company in their mind. So SPAC has been very popular these days. And actually, the earlier you get into a SPAC name, the better, because oftentimes start with $10. And once they have a target company, the news came out, speculation came out, the price will probably jump to like, I don't know, $15, $18. And then once we have more financial details or the acquisition is getting closer, maybe it'll jump to $20, $30. And so on and so forth. So the earlier you get into a SPAC name, the better, the more potential profits you're going to get. However, there are 248 SPACs in 2020. And so far in 2021, just a month and a half in 2021, we have 144 SPACs in the market already. So that's a crazy amount of SPACs. And it's really hard, like, as you probably can see, to put money into individual SPACs, right? Like, there's just literally too many of them. And you cannot keep tracking all of them as well. And since, like I mentioned in the previous slide, SPAC is always a speculation trade because you pretty much don't know which or what company they're going to eventually acquire and whether they can successfully, acquire that specific company. So in that case, choosing the high quality one will be pretty critical to make profitable SPAC trade. And again, the followings are just the most discussed SPACs names on Discord in the past 2 weeks, and we'll try to do this every 2 weeks. The first one, of course, is CCIV and Lucid Motors. Has been so popular on Twitter, Reddit, and Discord. So CCIV's Churchill Capital 4. Basically, you can see the chart has been holding the EMS support and flagging to the upside. On Friday, February 12th at closing, there's a SEC form filing. And basically that just push CCIV to our $41 target and pull back a little bit, and we'll see how it goes in the next week opening. So just in case you're not or not familiar with Lucid Motors, this is a high-end consumer EV company, and they're going to release their AirPure EV model starting to deliver in April 2021. It's pretty high-end, so their cheapest model is around $70,000. A more expensive one is more about $160,000. So it's pretty expensive, not really a Tesla competitor, but pretty decent EV and with a good range of battery. And what happened on Friday is this: actually CCIV had a SEC filing. It pretty much threw out this SEC form, and here's the link, and I also put in a comment or a description section on this YouTube video. If you search, there's no keyword Lucid Motor, but it did had several hedge funds invest into CCIV and acquire a bunch of shares. So that just increases speculation of the market that, CCIV now has more backing by major hedge funds. And more likely this CCIV is going through merging with Lucid Motors. But if we check the CCIV's SEC filing, we still haven't seen any concrete details about Lucid Motor acquisition. So again, still not confirmed with the Lucid Motor merger. Even though there's an acquisition, we still don't know the term of the acquisition, like what's the valuation, how many shares, blah, blah, blah. So there's really no way to tell a reasonable target price from this point. In the last video we made, based on the Fibonacci extension, we have $41 target, again, which was hit on February 12th, Friday, after market. I personally had some CCIV in my personal account. In that case, I think it's never wrong to take out some profits. So that's the case I did. Since even though the merge come through, we don't know how much CCIV can go higher. I'm very confident with the Lucid Motor. I think a personal opinion is a solid company, but we don't know the financial terms, how many shares, etc. So if you have been holding 10, 15, 17, or even $30, that's a pretty decent profit. I would just take out some on the table, but definitely not a financial advisor, but just for your education contents. If you want to learn more about CCIV, definitely check out our previous YouTube video. I'll also put a link down below. We discuss more about Lucid Motors, CCIV, and potential trading strategies, etc. The second thing I want to cover is called ARKIU. When it got IPO this week, a lot of people are talking about it. Always had an ARK Invest related SPAC, or the potential space ETF that ARK Invest trying to launch. So looking at the ARK Global Acquisition Corp unit, ARKIU, was IPO last week. When the news came out, the price actually popped to $11. The base is at $10 and now dropped back to $10.57. So what's going on? So this ARKIU is actually managed by ARK Global Acquisition Corp. So it's different from ARK Invest, just to clarify and not to make you confused. This ARKIU CEO is Rich Williams. And just in case you don't know who this Rich is, he's the former Groupon CEO. from 2015 to 2020. And before Groupon CEO, he was COO and marketing expert in Groupon for a few years. So definitely not definitely a reputable person. And their target for ARKIU is to acquire a high growth company with at least of $750 million of valuation. So right now we don't know the details about this ARKIU. I personally buy some, like, I don't know, $400 or something, just to bet on it, since I think he has a decent CEO, but right now we just don't have any targets. We don't know the details. There's no target price. It's a total speculative trade, and we also alerted in our Discord channel. The other one is CGRO and Innoviz. This one, there's some Discord discussion. We're going to briefly discuss what it is. So CGRO is a collective growth corporation, and it's run by Bruce Linton. He's the former founder and CEO of Cannabis Growth Corp, CGC, which is a pretty famous weed company in North America. And it has been confirmed that in Q1 2021, it's going to merge with Innoviz. It's an Israeli lidar company. And after the acquisition or merger, the ticker name will be INVZ. And this deal will offer $350 million of cash to INVZ, and Innoviz will not need to raise any capital from this deal until 2025. And all the details that I mentioned in this slides and the following few slides are in the Innoviz company investor deck, and I put the link here. I also put the link down below in the comment channel, YouTube discussion channel. So yeah, try to jump to the next slides. So Innoviz is a revolutionary lidar company. So just in case you're not familiar with lidar, so lidar is a system that will allow you to detect the object in a bad weather or like overexposed lighting situation more easily than just using a traditional camera in an automated driving situation. So even with the level 2 automation, which will require a driver to still paying attention on the road, but can partially be distracted. If you can see that using the traditional camera, there's still blind spot. In this case, in their company website, they put in this case, this truck is actually not detected due to saturated camera. However, with LiDAR, with the laser beams, they can actually capture the object and provide some evasive movement or just stop the car. It's the same thing with direct sun, rain, and dark. Currently, the whole auto industry is embracing the idea of LiDAR. The only company might not embracing it is Elon Musk Tesla right now, but there are social media rumors saying that capturing video that they capture Tesla doing testing on their LiDAR on their cars, but we don't know if that's a real post or not. There's never official response of that news from Tesla. But yeah, I do see there's a lot of potential benefits of using LiDAR on self-driving cars. And the major problem of a LiDAR is if you can see it on the road when some self-driving companies are testing the LiDARs, you will see those giant LiDAR units on top of the car roof. Like, seriously, who wants this kind of unit on the car roof, right? And also they are very expensive, they're heavy. And imagine you're a car owner, you have this LiDAR on top of your roof. I can almost guarantee you in a bad neighborhood, those are going to be stolen, right? So, and LiDARs are very expensive, like those big ones, $4,000 to $10,000. As a car owner, like, are you going to put it there? And one thing I really like about Innoviz is they actually make a revolutionary LiDAR with 3 chips together to collect all the necessary information with the laser beam and some technical details in their company website. And they make the LiDAR unit this small. Look at this, compare the size of these 2 units. And depends on the level of automation. Level 2, right now their market price is $500. And level 3 automation, their LiDAR unit is $1,000. So it's way cheaper than the current existing traditional LiDAR, which range from $4,000 to $10,000. So yeah, if they can successfully IPO through this SPAC and more capital raise, I think this company has a promising future, since EV and self-driving cars seems to be a irreversible trend. Trying to jump to the next slide. So yeah, this is again gross profits and EBITDA projection from the Innoviz investor deck. You can see right now 2021, their gross profit right now is $1 million. By 2025, it will exponentially grow into $300 million. And looking at their EBITDA, right now it looks like in 2021 they will still lose money. However, in 2024, they will start to change the trajectory, and by 2025, they will exponentially go up. So it is a company, if they really promise what they do, usually after IPO, we have to watch 2 to 4 earnings. That's the rule of thumb to see what they really do, what they promise to do. But yeah, basically what we see on all the investor decks, definitely a very appealing company, revolutionary technology. And not just a crazy dude on YouTube talking about, Innoviz. Also, Innoviz actually partnered with IBM to have their OEM production of the Level 3 lidar. I was going to mention this in the next slide. So IBM actually had iNext Level 3 Automation SUV, which is the flagship SUV, should be released sometime in Q1 2021. Don't know whether it will be delayed by the car chip shortage or not. And they actually choose Innoviz lidar in their Level 3 automation, this beautiful car. I also put in the BMW. This picture is actually from BMWgroup.com. And also Innoviz and Forbes also mentioned about BMW's partnership with Innoviz. So even IBM back Innoviz and use their technology. So that's another strong support about this company on top of this crazy dude on YouTube, right? So looking at the price of CGRO, which is the SPAC name again, that's going to merge with Innoviz. Right now, it's kind of solid consolidation for about a month or two, around 12.5, holding the EMA support. I'm thinking when Q1 2021, the mergers start to get closer, we got more details, the price will probably start to come up a little bit. But when IBM can release the iNext vehicle with the Innoviz lidar, that might be another catalyst. But again, I think in my personal opinion, this is more like a long-term hold until 2025 or even 2030. So my goal is to invest in EV, biotech, blockchain, on top of some core holdings, of course, like Apple, J&J, in the hope that we capture this major trend, and 3 to 5 years or even 10 years later, all this Innoviz or any other innovation EVs, some of them, if not all of them, will bring us handsome return 5 to 10 years later. The next one we're going to talk about is FMAC and Discord. This one's was actually discussed quite a bit for a few days, and the popularity actually dropped. So FMAC actually has IPO for a few months. This in the past 2 weeks, it actually had a pop since there's a rumor that it's going to merge into Discord. And the stock price pop actually from $10 to $14, about 40% pop, and now kind of winding down again. So just in case you're not familiar with Discord, it's actually a communication software with 250 million users in the world. And our MoneyPigTrading actually had a very active community on Discord as well. So basically you can see you have channels, and each channel you can provide information, and it's actually designed for gamers, and now a lot of investor communities are running on Discord. I think about 17,000 or something like that. So it's a pretty big communication software, just like Slack, and it's getting more and more popular. Right now, Discord had $3.5 billion of valuations, and is a gamers, again, and investors community version of Slack. And I know there are also like photography, like food making groups on Slack. On Discord as well. It's actually a direct competitor of Slack in a way. I think there are some pros and cons between Slack and Discord. I think one of the best advantage of Discord is free, and not to mention has a lot of like gaming community, and also support a lot of like real-time voice communication, and also it has a pretty sophisticated permission for each channel, like allow users not to be able to post anything on the Discord channel. So that's actually perfect for alert system like MoneyPigTrading, because we put it on something on that channel that nobody can actually edit or comment or post a lot of noisy information on that channel, make that channel clean. While on the other hand, Slack cannot do that. But however, Slack does have many other advantages. Like I think it's more for like an office or professional settings. Really allow team to coordinate a lot of works. And not to mention has a lot of very useful apps and bots that Slack can use. Of course, Discord also has bots. So I think both have pros and cons. And Slack has been acquired by Salesforce, which is, I believe, will be an amazing acquisition. I really like CRM, Salesforce as well. But anyway, so the Discord monthly active user has been growing exponentially as well. In 2016, only 10 million active monthly user. And by 2021, right now, there are 100 million users for monthly active users. So it's definitely a growing community, growing valuation as well. So what about this FirstMark Horizon Acquisition Corp, FMAC? So the CEO of this FirstMark is Richard, and he's a former board member of Discord. And also it's a tech-focused VC, venture capital or VC, if you have never heard about this company. They are not, a mojo. They are actually pretty well known. They are early investors for Airbnb, DKNG, DraftKings, Pinterest, and Shopify. And they are also one of the VC investors of Discord back to their Series F round in 2018. So I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people are speculating that this FMAC eventually will merge into Discord because of all this background. And because of this track record of this VC, I really think, and also the track record of Richard, I really think even FMC will not merge into Discord. I think eventually, based on their networking and their track record, they will eventually find something else to merge into. So that's why in my personal account, I also holds on FMC just as a disclaimer that just to betting on more upside. The next one we're going to talk about today is NPA. A lot of people are actually talking about it on Discord. It's going to merge into AST Space Mobile. So let's take a look. NPA has a little bit extended to the upside, but holding right now pull back to the EMA support at $20. And you can see the wave coming back up, pushing back to the EMA support, up, and down. So what's going on? So NPA stands for New Providence Acquisition. You plan to merge into this Q1 2121 with AST Space Mobile. And right now, Space Mobile is going to have a $1.4 billion of valuation upon this merger. And AST Space Mobile plan to launch space network for global mobile network. And they claim that this is a $1 trillion worth of global market. The company on their website also claimed that they have extensive IP and patent portfolio. However, to me, if you do dig in some more into the details about this company, they're not very clear what kind of space assets they are going to launch. So that's one thing I don't like that much about this company. Like it's very unclear on many fronts what they're going to do and what are they going to launch. But however, there are some other bullish factor behind this name. The ARK Invest actually plans to launch a space-related stock ETF. If that's the case, I think many other space-related plays will go out from here, and AST Space Mobile will probably be one of them. And also, this SPAC deal is actually backed by American Tower, which is really big 4 and 5G signal tower in the United States, AMT. I really like AMT as a company, and also now they know that this space will be a competitor. Space approach will be a competitor to the signal tower business model. So now they're trying to diversify and invest into space mobile network, which I think is really smart. Rakuten, which is a really big e-commerce company, and ARKIU NY also backed this deal as well. So that's the thing I think I like about this company is they have a famous name and industry veteran backing up this name, but again, just not very clear what they're trying to do. And I think right now this SPAC, NSA, has been up a little bit extended, so I personally didn't have any of the position on this name, but definitely worth some discussion. So finally, just want to highlight MoneyPigTrading also have long-term investment accounts and alert service, and we had a really decent 89% winning rate with an average return of 18.6% each trade in 2020. So yeah, if you like our content again or Discord alert service, feel free to check us out on www.moneypigtrading.com and follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram on MoneyPigTrading. Thank you for watching and happy trading. See you next time.